It's just like all these people try to compare, like me sometimes, to some of these other fathers, like Tiger Woods' dad and Venus and Serena. They don't get it. Those guys play one-on-one sports. My boy plays a team sport. So it's not about him going one-on-one.
LaVar Ball.
Look like a good breakfast. He could cook me some breakfast anytime.
Cooking up those eggs, man. You know, Dave Ross would love that. You know, he's all about the eggs and the bacon. LaVar Ball.
You see Dave in the background? He's like, hey, I'm just one of the ball boys. Get out of here.
Can you hook me up, please? LaVar Ball continues to talk a big game this season when it comes to his 3 basketball-playing sons. Of course, the big one, Lonzo, who plays for UCLA. And a story released today by USA Today, Ball claimed back in his day he could beat Michael Jordan playing one-on-one basketball. Let's not get too carried away.
Right.
He also said he expects his sons to sign a $1 billion shoe contract. That's billion with the B. This guy getting carried away. Seriously. So we want to know, where does he compare to other famous sports dads? We play our game of start, sit, cut. We've got LaVar Ball, we've got Archie Manning, and we've got Richard Williams. So if you've got a dad to raise an athlete, who you rolling with? Start, sit, cut.
Are you playing too?
I'm playing too.
All right, good. Because I don't even have any kids. So for me to start, sit, cut, parenting skills should be fascinating. At least we'll get a parent to get his take. I'm starting Archie.
Okay.
I'm sitting Richard, and I'm cutting LaVar. And let me make this really clear. I'm not cutting LaVar because I think what he's done is overlording and horrible. The more I read about LaVar Ball, I find him fascinating. It's unproven right now. He's got a couple kids in high school. He's got one kid he's telling everyone's going to be better than Steph Curry, and he's telling everyone where he's going to go. Going to be $1 billion first ever kid drafted with his own brand.
Triple B's.
It all sounds
big
great.
baller brand.
It's a great plan. And in so many instances in professional sports where kids come up through the ranks without a dad at all, it's hard for me to say what he's doing is terrible. I have no idea. It's a little overzealous, but that's here nor there. The only reason I'm cutting him is because it's unproven. We're talking about two sons that have won Super Bowls.
No doubt.
Multiple Super Bowls each. And a father that's raised the greatest female tennis player of all time, maybe the greatest tennis player of all time. And Venus is right behind Serena as one of the greatest tennis players to ever exist. I think some of the things Richard said initially ruffled some feathers because tennis can be such a stuffy community, such a highbrow thing. And when you raise some black girls in Compton and start telling everyone they're going to change the game, mind you, they did. It can rub people the wrong way.
People are going to get upset about those
100%. But I think the way he was coaching his daughters early, the way he pushed them, you may have some problems with some stuff he said, but overall, how could you argue with the results? And they look like, I've never met Serena, I've never met Venus, but they seem like very well-developed, very mature, very heady individuals. And that comes from Richard's parenting a little bit, even if it was overbearing at times. Archie, it's the first family of football. I mean,
hard to argue with that.
He did everything but win a Super Bowl, and then he raised his 2 kids that each have Super Bowls, each have Super Bowl MVPs. And was he a little forceful with saying, my kid ain't playing in San Diego, my kid playing in New York? Maybe, but it all worked out for the better for Big Blue, for Eli. And like I said, the only reason I'm not going to go LaVar, I'm putting him on the chopping block because it's just unproven right now. It's all a bunch of flapping gums. It sounds like a great plan if it works. We just got to see it through. What's your start, sit, cut?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I cut LaVar Ball. Maybe 10 years from now, 10 or 12 years.
We're starting him.
If we do this again, we might be starting him, and I just flip-flop. I start Richard Williams. I sit Archie Manning, only because what Richard Williams did was so unique. I mean, Archie played the game, so for him to have 2 sons who played the game after him, that's not necessarily
We've seen that before.
Right, that's not necessarily out of the ordinary. But Richard Williams, who didn't have a tennis background, to raise 2 kids that played tennis, as you mentioned, from Compton. A low-income place where kids don't normally have access to a game like tennis, to have the 2 tennis sisters, Serena and Venus, to be the greatest of all time in the women's game, arguably. What he did is so phenomenal. That's the reason I start him and sit Archie.
You know what's interesting, too? I think Richard's done a great job over the years of fading back. At first, he was going to tell everyone how great his daughters were, and he was right. We're realizing he was right. Even if those comments seem bold at the time, I think where he's done a great job and why I can see why you put him first and starting him. Once he realized, okay, my girls are fine. They're going to take care of their own business now. He kind of faded back into the shadows, and I thought that was a very, very good decision for Richard Williams, who seemed like he was going to be overbearing forever, and then all of a sudden he just wasn't there, and his girls were shining on their own.
Let us know what you think. Michael Rodriguez already weighing in on Twitter. He says he's going with Richard Williams. He would start Richard. So hit us up. Use that hashtag The Rally. Let us know who you start, sit, or cut between Archie, LaVar, and Richard.